here we go. All right, folks, it's Friday again, and it is actually the Friday just before we're about to get our wave of next generation consoles. It's very exciting. I've been waiting for this for a very long time, and I've got a lot to say, and that's why this week I decided to have my buddy, the legend David, join us on the stream. Why don't you introduce
Hey
yourself,
everyone,
David?
thanks for having me. Yeah,
Nice, 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 nice.
Xbox. Hey
I was expecting a hey
now,
now.
hey
I
now, hey
was
now,
expect I was I was
hey
expecting a hey
now.
now. So this week, and I know last week I did a solo one. I kind of just threw that last week's podcast together at the last minute because I was very tired, uh, and it was a very long week of college assignments. But last week I talked about pretty much I kind of vented my frustrations on the 343 delay. But this week, me and David are going to be recapping, so to speak, sort of recapping and giving our final impressions on both of these platforms the week, a few days before they launch, because Series X has got 4 days left until you're getting one, David,
I
because
do.
I went with PlayStation 5.
Get one launch day.
Yeah. Uh, I feel like a
You
traitor.
should.
I feel like a turncoat, you know? I feel like a turncoat. Like, I mean, uh, for those of you who have been keeping up with the show, you should know I've mentioned time and time again. I um I was all over Xbox this generation. I love what they did with Xbox this generation, and personally, I love what they're doing with Series X this coming generation. But this launch is horrible,
It
and
is.
I can't
Yeah.
sugarcoat it. As much of a fan as I am, this launch is bad, and
There's no game to
the
there's
way
no
that there's no game.
exclusive
Yeah,
game. Every game at launch day you can play on Xbox One as well. Or another platform.
yeah, you can play it on Xbox One or you can play it on another platform. It's like there's no one game that it's like I have to get the Series X to play it. A Series X is basically just, and I hate to say this, and you're gonna hear me saying that a lot. That I hate to say things because I hate to be that guy. But as it stands right now, current moment, November 2020, the Xbox Series X just seems like a an upgrade from
It
the One
is.
X. You know what I mean?
It's a
It
big
that's what it
upgrade,
seems
which
like to
I've
me.
read. The embargo ended today, and
Mm-hmm.
there's reviews all day long.
The reviews have been stellar. People are
Of
loving this
course.
console, and I had no doubts in my mind this console was going to be amazing. This console, like from the specs, from what they described that they were going to do with it, the specs, the backwards compatibility with software and hardware, the way they designed it, the mentality that they had with it, the smart delivery, the increase,
Hmm.
the load times, the performance, all of that. This thing just seems like the ultimate video game console for me, especially because I care a lot about
For sure.
backwards compatibility, which is a big reason why I was an Xbox One fan over a PS4 fan this gen, because PS4 kind of screwed us over with the backwards
Yeah.
compatibility.
And
Um,
PS5 isn't guaranteed to have. Did they say every PS4 game will be on PS5?
the story keeps changing. The story keeps on changing.
Yeah,
Like first they said oh 99% of games are going to work. Then Ubisoft comes out and says, "Oh, not all our games are going to work. Only these ones." And then like there's stuff about VR titles and compatibility with that, and as far as I know, most of the games that I own are going to work. And just for point of reference, most of the games that I own on my PlayStation, I own pretty much all
hmm,
the exclusives that came out on it. I own some third-party stuff like Watch Dogs, Evil Within,
got Resi 2 on
Tekken.
there too, right?
Like I well, yeah,
Yeah,
I did. I traded it in. Resi 2 and Sekiro, but if I still had them, I'd be able to play them. So, I'd say pretty much all the games in my library are going to play. I think there's only like certain special cases in which games aren't going to play because they released an official list which was about like maybe 10 or so games
that's
that
it.
wouldn't work because of some yeah, because of some specific feature of the PS4 that those games would need in order to function. But other than that, everything's going to carry
Oh,
over.
okay.
Uh pretty seamlessly. Um, One sort of, I guess, thing that they mentioned is that uh, if you encounter errors in games, just to report them, because they aren't 100% sure that every game's gonna work 100%. There's gonna be some errors, maybe here or there, uh, but that's really typical for emulation. Like even when I play games on Xbox One, occasionally, like the other day, I got an update for Psychonauts,
Yeah.
from the original Xbox. Like so that's not something I'm really like concerned about. It seems like it's going to be pretty solid.
Well, I'll say right now
Um,
they've done. I guess they've done a poor job of saying what games work on PS5 from PS4 because I follow video game news every day. I haven't heard anything about that. I heard something about 99% of games will work on PS5, but they haven't said here they are.
yeah,
Here's what they do. Here's the upgrade. Like Sekiro, they showed it on Xbox Series X running way better, 60 frames per second. They haven't said
yes,
Sony have said nothing about like the except Borderlands 3. That's like a big third-party game that said it will be
yeah.
upgrade for PS5. But besides that, I haven't heard anything, or not even like any type of list or anything.
There's been yeah, there has been very very small um very very small amounts of information regarding that. And that's just because, like and this is again like the thing where I'm like I really hate that I have to buy a PlayStation 5 right
Hmm.
now because, see, with me, I was going to buy
For sure.
both anyway. That's the type of consumer I am. I was going to buy both anyway. This November was pretty much just which one am I going
Hmm.
to get first, because I'm going to get the Series X. I
For
definitely
Halo.
want it. I want to play the games that are coming out on it. I want to play Halo, exactly. Whenever they get that shit
Hmm.
off the fucking ground. Uh like I want to play it, but right now the PS5 is just looking more appealing, but um I'm kind of losing the point here. uh the one of the big things about the Xbox and their marketing is their philosophy of upgrading your
For sure.
experience, and that you're going to be playing the best version of your games no matter what. What is it? That
Hmm.
smart delivery is what they call it, where you're going to be playing the best versions of your games no matter what. That's something they've been driving home, and it's weird because it's like that's something Sony can do. It's not like they're incapable of doing it. The PS5 is
Yeah.
plenty powerful. It can run these games at higher resolutions. I'd argue that the PS5 can match the Xbox Series X in terms of current
For
gen
sure.
upgrades to next gen.
That's what I mean.
You know, but I don't know why they're just
I
not
think
taking that stance. Yeah.
yeah, they've done poor marketing about what works, what doesn't, how it works. Like I understand the criticism Xbox gets for no new games coming out on launch day, and I agree it sucks. I wanted to play Halo as much as anyone. That's why I mean all year, and I couldn't wait to play it. But they're showing off older games, big time older games too, that work way better and play way better on Xbox Series X. And
Exactly.
I mean that's cool for some. Like I haven't played. I have GTA 4. I've never played it. I will now. It runs at 60 frames. That's
I
cool.
know. I
So
know. I
PlayStation
know.
just coming out saying, yeah, they'll work, but we've seen nothing. Nothing.
Exactly. We've seen no evidence of like, oh hey, this game, and that maybe that's what Jim Ryan said when he said, we believe in generations. Maybe they're focusing on the new stuff, and like they're saying, hey, your old stuff's going to carry over, but what we're going to be showing you is new stuff.
Well,
Like we
yeah,
want
since
people
you
to see the
haven't said
new
anything, I
and focus on
assume
the
like a
new.
game like Sekiro will play on PS5, but I'm guessing because they have not said
Yeah,
anything, so they don't want negative publicity. I guess I'm assuming it's not upgraded. I'm guessing it'll run the same way on PS4 as on PS5, or I assume they would say something like Borderlands 3 came out and said PS5
yeah,
Borderlands 3 will run at 4K 60. Boom, cool, thanks. Sekiro, I have no idea. What's a Titanfall 2? I don't know. I don't know if it's around. I don't even know if it's around PS5. I have no idea. They haven't said anything. So I would guess that it will be able
yeah,
to work. You could play those games on PS5, but I'm assuming they won't be upgraded.
and yeah, it's been they've been really they've been really kind of poor with the communication. That brings me to two topics. Let's tackle this one first. What do you think about the vision? If you had to, I know you have a preference, but
A
just
preference of hardware?
in terms of the vision, in terms of the vision that each company has for their hardware, like what they're trying to accomplish
Hmm.
as of right now. we see Sony and they're talking about they have this vision, this idea of bringing forth um immersive experiences. They're trying to, they did the whole entire proprietary 3D they did like, I think they used one of their CPU or GPU cores and they isolated it specifically for 3D
Hmm.
audio processing to like enhance immersion. They have all those 3D audio settings. They have the dual sense controller with all the haptic feedback and the trigger
Yes.
stops and everything. They wanted to utilize the SSD so games seem
Hmm.
super seamless. It seems like, and just what they've been saying is that their vision with the hardware is
Hmm.
immersion, and Xbox's vision with their hardware seems to be more so, like my father said, putting you
I really thought you were gonna get philosophical about like your father. I'm like, whoa.
No, yeah, like my dad Phil Spencer says, it's about putting you at the center
Hmm.
of of the
Correct.
gaming experience. It's about building a gaming experience around you where you can play how you want, where you want. Doesn't matter if you're playing on a Series X, on a PC, or on your phone. You can play the games you want where you want them,
Correct.
whenever you want them. Um, that's their vision, and I just want to get your opinion. Like, what do you think about both of these approaches?
I think PlayStation's approach is again blurry. It's cool. Like I've heard the
Yeah.
reviews of what's Astrobot? Is that the game that's packed in?
Mm-hmm. Uh, Astros.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's an
something. I don't know
Astrobot
what it is.
game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it looks awesome. It looks super fun. Like the haptic. Everyone says it's great.
I will say I'm excited about Astrobot making the return because I don't know, that seems to be like kind of their
For
Wii
sure.
Sports kind of,
No, it looks
mascot
super
type
fun.
character, because on PS4 he had the playroom. On VR, one of the big like aha moments for VR for me was when I first played Astrobot Rescue Mission. That was like a piece of software that really introduced me to the
Hmm.
technology that I was
Yeah.
using. And I feel like that this game is going to be the same
No,
thing.
I think it's cool. I think it's fun.
Mm,
I've never heard 3D audio, so I don't really know the difference of what that would sound like compared
yeah.
to non 3D audio. But again, I think it's blurry. I don't know what third party games are going to support that, if any. I don't know if any first party games. We've seen
Hmm.
Nintendo do that with their controllers, their Joy Cons, the
Yeah.
Wii U
with,
gamepad.
with the
For sure,
HD
no, and
Rumble.
like again, like the
Oh
Wii U
yeah.
gamepad, like, and every time I would see something like that, I would think it's cool. It is cool, but eventually it doesn't seem like anyone
Hmm.
really cares, and they just stop using it. So it's just all for nothing. So I would say it's a blurry future. I would imagine their first party games would use it. I'm not sure. Did they say that Turismo is going to use any of that? Because it's a racing game.
Well, there's not a lot of details on
Exactly.
Gran
It's all
Turismo
blurry to
yet.
me. I don't know what they're doing. I really don't. The thing comes out fucking Thursday. It's a big blur. It's foggy to me. That's their vision to me. It's there. I see some things like, oh, there's that. It's blurry. I have no idea what it is. Xbox, as I
Yeah.
said, they deserve criticism. There's no game you need to play day one. Their vision is pretty clear that they want the best hardware. They want the games to run the best on Xbox. They want the player to have the best experience gaming wise on Xbox, and I'm all for that.
Yeah. Really, I'd say both of these approaches excite me. Microsoft's approach, it's pretty much they're giving me more of what I loved on
Hmm.
Xbox One, but they're making it better. And I already, like we've talked about this before. I think the Xbox One X is like as close to the perfect video game
It was
console
great.
as you can get. It plays like it's a system that plays like all the games that I
Hmm.
want to play. It's a system where I can use like a wide variety of accessories. I can play a wide variety of software spanning across all sorts of different generations. It connects with my PC. I can stream games to
Correct.
my phone. Like
Your new
I could go
tablet.
I could go on and on. And yeah, this I just bought a Surface Pro 7. Um I can play games like if I'm not at
Yeah,
home, if I'm like say like I'm at work and I'm on my lunch break, I could pop up my Surface Pro 7 and an Xbox controller and be playing
for
games
sure.
on my lunch break on my tablet like
Hmm.
perfectly fine, like using
Again,
xCloud
that's their
streaming.
vision, and their vision's
Game
laid out too.
Pass,
This is it. There's the
exactly.
map. Here it is. Android,
It's
and actually
laid
they
out
said
very clearly.
iOS too for Apple products to be via a browser, so they can get
Hmm.
through their wall of whatever the hell that is. Uh,
Yeah, Apple needs to
but
get their
no,
shit together with that. But
they
that's a
said now
topic for
they're
another
going to
day.
be able to use on iPhones and iPads
Mm-hmm.
and Macs. I don't know about Macs, but uh, they're going to go through a browser. And again, their vision is clear.
Yeah.
Here it is what we're doing. Again, PlayStation is, yeah, 3D audio and haptic feedback. And I agree, it looks cool. And oh, and their UI. I appreciate a brand new UI. But like for
Yeah.
the they showed it again with that Astro game. There's like you can get hints or Sackboy. I saw that the Sackboy
Mm-hmm.
game. It looks like Mario 3D
Yeah, the
World.
Sackboy game. Yeah. Can you believe that's
Yes,
$70? I'm not paying $70 to
I
play as a
can.
fucking sack.
A Sony
Are you
first party
fucking?
game. They love the smell of their shit. They love the
You're
smell of
out of
their shit.
your
I can totally agree. It's
fucking
$70.
mind. Nobody's gonna
That
buy
looks just like
Sackboy
it
for
looks
that
just
amount
like
of
Mario
money. It's
3D
not
World.
happening.
It looks just like it. But whatever. But so
Yeah,
they
it
showed
does.
that there's the new UI where they give you like a hint or a tip of what to do next if you're lost or you're stuck. And again, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
But like everyone has a phone now. They can just if they're that stuck, they can just look on their phone. And I've read that the developer needs to
Yeah.
put time to make that happen for their game. Are third-party games going to do that? I highly doubt it. I don't know. Could they? Could I don't know. Demon Souls is a
It is a big
third-party
question.
property, but or no, they're From Software's not making this game. Blue Point is
No, it's a
correct.
Blue Point.
I
Yeah.
haven't seen
Mm-hmm.
anything about that. That's technically a first-party game. Then it's a first-party studio making
Mm-hmm.
Demon Souls remake. Are they using that new software? Are they using haptic feedback? Are they using their 3D audio? I have no idea. It's all foggy to me. Jim Ryan, where are you? Tell me. Tell me. What am I buying?
Yeah. See, my big takeaway with PS5 um is that it's pretty much more of what you got on PS. The reason why I'm so like, I don't want to say confident, but yeah, I guess the reason why I'm so confident in purchasing a PS5 is because I expect the same as what I got on PS4. And what we got on PS4 was really good exclusives. Like over the past couple of days, I finally got around to playing Detroit Become Human, and I was like, damn, it's another one. It's another really fucking good exclusive game. Like I'm having a ton of fun playing it. And it's a game I can only play on PlayStation.
No, for
Fucking
sure.
fucking awesome. I'm having a great
I
time
mean,
with it.
about their vision. I mean, not about their vision. If you want to talk about, yeah, day one,
Yeah.
I would totally understand if someone bought a PS5 or Xbox Series X on day one. There's more games you can. Well, Demon Souls is the only next game you can play on next gen. You can only play it on PS5. Right there, boom, done,
Yeah.
done.
But I think that really the big difference here is that Microsoft is going for a much broader approach, a much more open approach, and Sony, I mean, sticking to to how they've always been, and sticking to their guns, sticking to what they know, sticking to what works. They're going for a much narrower approach where the games that they're talking about are those, uh, the games they're going to be talking about more heavily rather are those first party exclusives. Those are the games they're going to be discussing. Like, hey, here's this game. I know tomorrow actually they're going to be well, actually today they're going to be coming on at 6 p.m. my time. It'd be about like
Correct.
3 p.m. your time, and they're going to be doing like a full showcase of Spider-Man
Mm-hmm.
Miles Morales before launch. Um,
Uh,
but
no, I was going to say
oh,
about
go
their
ahead.
vision again. I was going to say that Miles Morales on PS5 is how much?
On
How
PS5,
much is it on
$60.
PS4?
Well, actually, no.
How much is it on
$50, my bad.
PS4?
I think it's the same price, $50.
I mean, do they have a free upgrade if you buy it on PS4?
Uh,
Do you know? I don't think anyone knows.
uh,
Again, Jim Ryan,
I don't
can you
know.
speak to me? I have no idea what their vision is. I don't
But
know. I don't
see,
know what it
listen,
is.
listen. I'll be frank. I'll be frank with you. I'll be frank with you. I don't know because
That's
personally I
true.
don't
No,
care.
that's true. I wouldn't either. I have full like upgrade next. I don't
Like
care.
I will be
But
100% honest with
again,
you. Like I bought my copy of Spider-Man Miles Morales on PS5, and that's all that matters. I know that Sackboy is, if you buy it on PS4, you get the upgrade to
okay.
PS5 for free. I'm assuming I think
It
it's the
must
same
be
thing with
because I think
Spider-Man.
Assassin's Creed
I think.
Valhalla on PS4 it says free upgrade to PS5. But
And I've been seeing that, right? I've been seeing that here and there. I saw it for the EA Sports
yes,
games like Madden and FIFA are getting the free upgrades. But Microsoft was more like, and I think one of the big benefits of Microsoft is that their social media team is so much better than Sony's. Because it's actually like it feels like actual
Yeah.
people. You got Major Nelson, you've got Aaron Greenberg, like you've got Phil Spencer himself tweeting shit out and retweeting stuff. You know what I mean? Like if you're in that circle of Xbox
Following their social media. Yeah.
accounts on social media, yeah, like you're going to be getting this information. I can open my phone and look at Twitter and see like a tweet like from, even if a third party announces and says like, hey, our game's gonna gonna do this. And even Microsoft will come out and say like on their Xbox account, like, hey, if you buy this game on Xbox Series X, it's gonna have this and that, and like it's gonna have these features over the Xbox One version, and blah 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 blah. Their communication with it, like you said, their communication has been way better on what you're getting out of the box. Sony's has been very ambiguous, and that was my problem with Sony for this entire year. Where I was extremely frustrated with them. I was pissed at Sony because I was like, dude, fucking tell me something. Like, tell me something about this system. Why should I buy this? Besides because it's a PlayStation. Like, why? Like what does it do? Um, so you know,
Again, I feel like it's their vision is, and also like I said, their foggy vision. June they said they believe in generations, and then in September they're
yeah,
like all
flip
these
flopped
games will
on
be on
that.
PS4 as
Sons of
well.
bitches.
Like, all right, so
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know. It's different to me.
So, so so you
Yeah,
lied.
like that's why
Like,
everything they say is different.
so you fucking
And I agree. I
lied.
remember someone came out. I mean, he used to work for Xbox and he's for Amazon now, and he's just like couldn't believe it. He's just like, they just said 2 months ago that they believe in generations and
Yeah.
they believe on getting their games to be the best experience on their new console, PlayStation 5. Then 2 months later, they said not only will all these games also be on PS4, they're going to be supporting PS4 for next, I think he said 2 years. If Xbox did that, they'd be getting trashed all over the place, I think.
Well, you and I both know that Microsoft has been dragged through
Hmm.
the mud throughout this entire
Well, they should have
generation,
at first, the first couple of years
mercilessly.
anyway.
Yeah. Oh yes, they were fucking up big time,
Hmm.
especially three four
Oh,
three.
they deserve it now,
But
and then
we don't have to talk.
yes.
343. Like I just wish I could line them all up in
Also, I'm reading this
implementation.
Polygon article. It
Uh,
says Spider-Man PS4 players cannot upgrade to PS5 for free. So it
they
says on
cannot
Polygon, yeah.
upgrade. You said. Well, that sucks to be them. Like, damn, that's pretty fucked up. That's
So again, muddy vision. That's
pretty
my
fucked up.
their visions are PlayStation is muddy.
Yeah, it is not very clear.
Xbox is
Not very
more
clear.
clear. However, we're not going to see that vision for another 2 years probably.
So I feel like we've been on the discussion of vision and like communication for a while. And that was actually kind of the combination of two
Hmm.
things in one, right? Let's talk about the
Yes.
specs. How do you feel about the specs of both systems? We know that Sony's system is going for a variable clock speeds, running at, is it a max of 10 teraflops, or is that just 10 teraflops base?
Uh, no,
I'm not
well, the
sure.
fucking marketing.
Again, it's been kind of foggy.
I
Again, it's
know,
been
no.
pretty foggy. Yeah.
When Xbox came out and said there's 12 teraflops.
Yeah.
PS5
12
was
teraflop standard. That's the
10.
goal for maintained.
And
Yep.
now and then of course they
Hmm.
didn't want to seem that much less, but then they started marketing their 10.3. Then the Xbox Series X said we're 12.1. So I don't really know the tech to explain it in and out, but everything I've
Yeah,
read,
you gotta ask
yes,
the Digital
exactly. What
Foundry
I've
guys or
seen and
something like
read
that.
from experts, it seems that it's pretty cut and dry that Xbox has better specs for the SSD and the
It is pretty cut
PS5.
and
It's
dry. Yeah.
custom, right? It's their own custom SSD in the PS5.
It's their own custom SSD, and they have a custom
Correct.
controller for it. It's actually very very impressive hardware. Like
I
it's
don't think they
it's
have
very
bad
cool stuff.
hardware,
When you
but
really get into the tech specs
again,
of it. Yeah, yeah,
it's their own SSD. I'm sure their first party games will be great on it, but are third
yeah.
party games going to be making their games suit like custom for their SSD? I don't think so. I don't know. It's possible.
But the thing about it, and like, and this is something I've been thinking about this for a long. I've been thinking about it all year. As I've been considering my decisions for next gen. Um, remember like
Yes.
PlayStation 2. PlayStation 2 was not as powerful as
Correct.
the Xbox. It was not as powerful as
Correct.
the GameCube. I remember very specific cases of games not running as well on PlayStation 2 as they
Correct.
did on GameCube. But that system had so much
Uh,
exclusive
that's a
PlayStation only
whole
content
yeah.
and it
That's
was
a
so
different
good.
like a whole other
Like
thing. But it's I mean they just dominated the uh that
they
was
did.
a domination.
That may not be the best example, but you get
No,
what I'm saying though, right? It's
we're talking
like
about launch games. PS2 didn't have. I mean, I was old enough to remember. I didn't get one on launch day, but PS2
mhm.
on launch they didn't have a. I don't think they had any first party games actually. They might have had one, but they had so many
Yeah.
third party support because that was the only thing going. They had everything.
Yeah,
Nintendo
pretty much.
64, the generation before, was a whole
Mhm.
different piece of hardware where everything, right, everything looked Mario 64ish and Donkey Kong 64ish. Uh, it was apples and oranges. So development for the next gen, PS2 was having a standard console everyone knew how to make games for. Everything they just dominated. So that was different. It was not the same. Xbox didn't come to a year later either.
Yeah. I'm just talking more so just I guess in terms of specs,
Specs, I
you
think, like I
know.
said, but besides SSD, I think Xbox is cut and dry has better specs.
Xbox cut and dry, like I've seen this time and time again. And it really annoyed me. All the bullshit artists out there trying to fucking like all the bullshit artists, fucking devs out there trying to say like trying to mitigate how big of a difference there was between Series X and
Mhm.
PS5. Trying to say, oh well, the PS5s, their technology's so impressive. It's got an edge over the. It's like the fucking SSD's faster. Shut the fuck up. You know the shit. The SSD's faster. Stop fucking
And
around.
like
Stop trying to pull our legs. Like
when the third, I'm
like
sure like a lot of games they're both gonna be great. I'm sure like the next big
yeah.
PS5 exclusives gonna look amazing on PS5, and same thing with the new Xbox.
I have no doubt that even third party games they're
I was
still
gonna
gonna look
say,
and play
like
great
every
on
first party game
PS5.
looks obviously great on their own hardware, but I'm sure
Yeah.
again if you want to Digital Foundry a third party game, I'm sure it will look better on Xbox, but it's not gonna look poor on PS5 or anything.
But like and it's kind of like well I guess it's not a very good example, but I was just kind of thinking back to PS3 versus Xbox 360, where like the Xbox 360 was like whereas like well I guess this is kind of a good example because the PS3's
Hmm.
hardware was notoriously a nightmare
Correct.
to develop for, but first party devs worked that shit
I
like fucking
goddamn hope
magic.
so.
And honestly, the same teams that they had then, or the same studios that they had then, are
Hmm.
still with them now. So like, I'm sure 100% they're gonna be able to leverage this SSD
Of
technology
course,
because in the Mark Cerny talk, like he was talking about it, and
I would
and
hope so.
this is kind of more to the big point, the big takeaway that I have here is that Sony they're their big spotlight titles, their highlight titles are their exclusives. That's the attention
Yes.
grabber. And I feel like that's why they're focusing so much on that. That's why I don't think they're as concerned about having superior third party ports because they never had superior like they almost never had superior third party ports. On N64 versus PlayStation, they never had
Well, they did
superior
at the
third
beginning
party
of
ports.
PS4. They did it at
PS2 they never
PS4 at the
did.
beginning.
Yeah, yeah, on PS4, but I'm talking about like throughout
For
the
sure.
history of PlayStation. On PS3, their ports were generally not
Well,
superior. On PS2, their ports were
they,
generally not superior. On PS1, the
but
ports were generally not superior.
well, they lost a lot of ground during the PS3 generation, though.
Yeah, because
Indeed,
they
that's
fucked
what
up.
I mean. Well,
because
that's
they,
what you said.
because they
They
fucked
they
up.
didn't have the
Yeah.
best third-party ports, and then yeah, they started losing a lot of I don't know the word. A lot
Yeah.
of
If you wanted a good third party port of a game, you played it
correct.
on
And they
360.
they lost a lot.
You just
Yeah,
played it on
they lost a lot
360.
of players. That's I guess you can say. They started losing players. That's why they fixed it for PS4.
Mm-hmm.
So they need they. I don't
Yeah,
think it will be
and
a problem for PlayStation at all. I just think if you want a Digital Foundry, a third-party game, I'm sure it will look better on Xbox Series X. I'm sure they'll be the best, but I'm sure it'll be fine on PS5 as well. I don't think it'll be anything like, holy shit, this is terrible.
it's also yeah, it's also a question of how steep of a margin are we going to be seeing here? Because when you look back at this current generation, and Xbox One X was able to do some amazing things in certain games that the PS4 Pro just simply
There are
was
some,
not
yeah,
able to do. But that wasn't necessarily now wide across the board. We all know the One X outperforms the
correct.
PS4 Pro
Yes.
easily, without
Hmm.
even breaking a sweat. Um, but still, like I remember seeing some Digital Foundry, videos of like third party games that were about the same, sometimes even doing better on
Hmm.
PS4 Pro because of whatever specific reason. So it really is going to be case by case. I don't think that personally, I don't really think that the specs are going to matter as much to
They
people
don't. They don't.
um,
Ecosystems matter to
until
people in games.
until we see the first party. Yeah, ecosystem and games. But until we see the first party stuff, I think that's when people are going to be like, okay, if there's a big difference, we're going to see it in the
For
first
sure.
party. And again, getting back to the first thing we were talking, that's where Microsoft fucked up. They don't have a showcase title. They don't
They
have a
did.
showpiece
They
because
did.
Demon Souls looks
They
amazing. Oh, yeah, they,
and
they
they
did. They
that was
did. And
a
they fucked it up.
meteor. Really
They
fucked
fucked
it
it
up.
up.
Well, I want to talk about that in
And they
first party
fucked it
games.
up.
Big as Halo fan as I am, the game looks fun. But like I said, could you if you put Halo 5 that came out 5 years ago on the base Xbox One, compare that demo of Halo Infinite, I can't tell you that Infinite looked better than 5 graphically. I would probably said 5 looks better.
No, that would be
So
a lie.
they, again, like it's 343 problem. It seems like they needed to delay that game to get it better. It had to be better looking. It had to.
And yeah, and when you stopped by, the stream, the other day, and I was talking about it, I was saying like how I don't get why 343 is the only studio that just can't fucking get their shit together. Like Coalition's been fine,
Coalition is
Playground Games
amazing.
has been fine, Turn
In
10's
fact,
been
I think the
fine.
Coalition is underrated as of like because they only make gears. Actually, that's probably
I
why.
I think
I
they are underrated. They're extremely talented. Same thing with Playground Games, which is why I'm excited
I
that they're
was
making Fable because
yes,
Playground Games
I was
has
just
been
gonna
kicking
say they should
ass.
allow the Coalition to make their own new IP. That's not
I
fair to
think so
make.
too.
You guys are
There was
amazing,
there was
but
the rumor
only
about
make
Perfect
yeah
Dark
there
though.
was. You're only making gears. They have to
Yeah.
let them loose and let them do their own shit now.
They gotta let them do. They gotta split. They gotta I think what they need to do is increase staff and split them into two teams: a Gears team
Well,
another team. Because that's what
they get criticized
Gorilla
for
did.
the Coalition's name for Gears of War.
Yeah,
That doesn't mean they have to keep making just Gears of War. They can just say that's your name still, but like you can make other games. They can't
yeah.
just you have to stick to only Gears because that's your name. They can just hey, all right, that was years ago. Let's change it. Just pick what game do you guys want to make now? After Gears 6, I guess.
Yeah. I get that. Yeah, it'd be kind of weird like if 343 started making different games because it's 343 and the
And that's
Coalition is
their
the
own
Coalition.
problem. I don't know why they
But
would do that, but they have to like because Coalition has done
I
so
I
well. They've
don't
done so
think
well. Those games are amazing looking.
they've done so well. Those games are fantastic. They're beautiful. They use the
That's
hardware
wasting
so beautifully
talent.
and great. The fact that Gears 5 exists and is playable on a base Xbox One
Yeah.
blows my
I mean,
mind.
I mean it runs at
Blows
30
my mind.
frames, but
But to that point, right? Gorilla was known
correct.
for Killzone. That all they did was Killzone for I don't even know. Like I think
They did
almost
almost
like
like
yeah
a decade.
over
Yeah,
over
almost a
10
decade.
years. Yeah, over like a decade. They did Gears. I mean, not Gears. I'm sorry. They did Killzone on PS2.
Vita, right?
And I grew up, with the Killzone games, and they did it all the way up to PS4
Yeah.
and Vita, and then they did a new game with Horizon Zero Dawn. It was a big success.
In
Now they're
fact,
doing
that
a
was the
sequel to that,
rumor that
and
they allowed Playground to do Fable because of Gorilla and
yeah,
Horizon Zero Dawn. Because again, actually, they said because
and
they
I
did so well making Forza Horizon, it looked amazing. They allowed them to do do you guys want to do a different game? Yeah, we do. We want to do it. And they said, okay. They should have let the Coalition do their own games too. They shouldn't allow them. That's wasting
I think
talent.
I
That's
think they
wasting. You
definitely
guys are only
should.
making Gears of War.
Yeah,
They fucked up calling them after a game. They did. They probably shouldn't have done that. But they
I
shouldn't
don't think
stick
so.
it. They
I
shouldn't
don't
make them
think
only do
so
Gears. They should
because
allow them to do other games now.
I don't think the name is a fuck up because like I don't think a lot of people know what the Coalition
Yeah, I
means.
guess.
You know, because we play
Yeah.
Gears, so we know it's the Coalition of Organized Governments. For you folks at home that might
Yeah.
not know, it's Coalition of Organized Governments.
Tags.
That's the COG. Those are the soldiers in the
Gears.
CAGs. Those are the cogs. Those are the soldiers that you play as in Gears. They're the COG, the Coalition of Organized Government Soldiers. And that's why they're called the Coalition. But I don't think a lot of people know that.
Probably
Like,
not.
I don't think a lot of like casual
No,
players
that's
know
why.
that. I think people just think
That's
they're
why they're
just the
called.
Coalition.
That's the slang for the cog, because another name is Gears. That's why they call them Gears.
Yeah, exactly. Um, they're no longer the Gears of War, though.
I
Now
think they'll
they're
go
just
back
the
to Gears of
Gears.
War. I think they let Rod Ferguson have that, and now he's gone. Like, all right. Yeah, we let you have Gears Pop,
There you go.
Rod. You did some good work, but now it's back to Gears 4.
Oh, I forgot about Gears
done.
Pop.
They just said that the other day.
Wow.
They're shutting
They
it down
shut
in
it down?
April, I think.
Dude, like I
Yeah,
forgot that
no one's
existed.
gonna play
Yeah,
that shit.
that was a weird idea.
I understand. They talked. Like Phil Spencer talked about at E3. He had an idea for a phone game. Yeah, sure. Fucking try it. They deserve it. They deserve to do again. They do other things. They want to do other things. And he said, "Yeah, go nuts."
Yeah.
And it's not probably. I
And-
guess it hasn't worked out.
As a creative studio, you want to do other things. You don't want to just be
Yeah,
stuck
they
doing
made
the same thing
and
forever.
Gears Tactic. That was their other. They want to do something different.
It's just like what happened with Sony Santa Monica, where they just completely flipped the script and ruined God of War. But they didn't ruin God of War, but basically they made an entirely new game and called it God of War.
I never played it, but I mean,
Made no
people have
fucking sense.
literally said
which made no
that
fucking
it's one of the
sense
greatest
to me.
video games of all time. I don't know. I've never played it, but that's what I've heard. You don't like it as much.
Could
Yeah,
not
I don't
disagree
know.
more. I don't, and I'm a big God of War fan, and I like that game a lot. I would even say I loved that game to a certain degree, but one of the greatest games of all time.
I have no idea.
Come on,
I have still to this day. I have never played
it's not even close in my mind.
first-party PlayStation game ever. I've never have.
Dude, do yourself a favor and buy a used PS4. Like, please, like just as a personal favor to me. If I still had, because I had an extra PS4, but I gave it to a friend, and like, because I think at the time I assumed you just had one. If I had it, I would just mailed it to you. Like, here, take this, play these games, because some of those games, like, and a lot of them, I think I'm like David would play the shit out of this. He'd fucking love. He'd be all over this.
Everyone tells me,
And
it's Uncharted. Everyone tells me I love that game. Everyone.
Uncharted is my favorite PlayStation exclusive franchise.
Many people tell me that, like, dude, you would love that game. I'm like, well, I don't have a PlayStation, so. I have a Nintendo Switch I barely touch. That's why. Yeah. That's why. Again, like why I'm talking about Xbox. That's the only reason I am a one console between PlayStation and Xbox guy, because the other one, to me,
I guess I'm just a fucking whore.
To me,
it's fucking passed around to every fucking
console. If I own a PlayStation, I would barely play it. Like, I own a Nintendo Switch and I play it.
Yeah.
Barely. Because I'm always on Xbox, so I just would not want to waste console sitting there doing shit. I just
really want you to play some of those games. I just do, because they're just fun. They're just fun.
I'm not a hater.
They're very good. They're very good, high quality
games. The reason I choose one is the other over the other is because I would.
Nobody's accusing you of that.
I just wouldn't play the other one. That's why.
Yeah, I understand. But overall, though, because we keep trailing off, it's fine. We're trailing off. That's what conversations are like. You fucking get to different topics. But overall, though, personally, and this is just me personally. And I said this to you before, actually, that I was more excited about the PS5 specs than the Xbox Series X specs, and that's more because, and maybe this is playing right into Sony's strategy with how vague they're being. But I was more excited about it because of, like, this is, like, different. And, this reminds me, what they're doing with the PS5 reminds me so much of what they did, of what they used to do with PlayStations, where they would do some weird hardware shit, like, to achieve some kind of eccentric goal. You know what I mean? PS2 was the emotion engine, where they wanted to add emotion and, like, feeling and, like, everything into games. So they focused on, like, polygons for, like, animations of, like, facial, stuff and, like, things like that. With PS3, they wanted it to be, like, cinematic, like, movies. So they focused on, like, all this other fucking bullshit. I don't know. I could go on about it, but it's it's a whole it's history shit, and it's complicated. It's a long story, but they had
For sure.
visions for the hardware. The reason why, like a big reason why and I've said a big reason why I didn't like PlayStation 4 as a PlayStation fan is because there didn't really seem like there was a vision. It felt like they were just trying to make a generic game box that would appeal to the masses, and that's
They
what they
had
did,
to.
and it worked. The games were fantastic. The games were amazing. But then again, the exclusives on PS3 were amazing. I love those exclusives too. So nothing really changed there except for it's opened it up for third parties. But with this one, they're they're doing a lot of interesting stuff here with the SSD. I think they're doing some interesting stuff with the controller, 3D audio. I'm very interested to see. I'm interested to see what they're going to do with it, specifically first
No, I think
parties.
it'll be cool. I think it will. I just it's hard to imagine that it's gonna be supported by anything else but first party games,
Yes,
including the
that
UI,
is
not
exactly
even
true.
just the controller and the 3D audio headset, even the UI they have.
I'd bet you. I think 3D audio is going to be utilized definitely. I think 3D audio is 100% going to be utilized by devs. I think that certain things like and this is like where I think that certain companies piss their money away. What, like, why Sony? Why and I get it. They want to do something cool with the controller, but like the fucking haptic feedback and the triggers. I was talking to my brother earlier, and he said that he was hearing that the PS5's controller battery life is actually shorter than the DualShock 4's. Which, if it is, then like, what am I gonna be able to play for fucking 20 minutes?
I don't
What does
know.
that mean? Because the
Well,
PS4's battery life was already super fucking
I don't know
short and
how long they
annoying.
were.
Um, I don't know. I've read 5 to 6
What?
hours. I have no idea.
Are you serious?
Yeah, that's what I read.
That
I
can't be
read
true.
five to
That's
six hours. Yes,
bullshit.
on a single charge. That's what I read.
Dude, I just
That's
bought
what I read.
cheap
And I don't know.
Xbox
I don't have the
batteries
product in my hand.
for I bought for $7 and they last 20 hours. That did be awful. There's no way. That
Yeah.
can't be true.
Let's see. Yeah, there's no official confirmation. I just
Again,
read
it's very
something
blurry
that, like,
over there. It's foggy
there's
as
no
fuck.
official confirmation.
Everything.
And I think it's because the
Well,
embargoes.
you know what? They need to. There's tiers of embargo. Xbox had tiers. You've seen things little by little get revealed until today. Sony hasn't done
Yes.
shit. And
Yes.
actually, that's an argument against both. They haven't shown a
No.
lot of gameplay. So, but PlayStation again, it's
Yes.
very foggy. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah. But like with the
Battle.
Series X, I was excited about the hardware, but I knew what I was getting. You know what I mean?
I know
I
they're
knew
very
more,
open.
and maybe that it's just because like I don't know as much about the PS5, and more so I don't know what could be done with that type of technology. I can imagine what could be done with the Xbox Series X. Stellar looking games, high frame rates, ray tracing,
Hmm.
etc. High resolutions, etc. With PS5, I'm like, what kind of weird shit can they do with these games with this
I think
SSD? We saw a glimpse of that with Ratchet and
Miles
Clank.
Morales, I think, has ray tracing, right? I think they showed that in Digital Foundry.
Yes, they're
And
using some
I don't
ray
even know
trace
the yeah, I
reflections.
think
Yeah.
reflections. I don't even know the regular term. It's not full on ray tracing, right? It's just like, as you said, I think it's reflections on Miles Morales.
Dude, you gotta ask
That's what I no,
those
because
dudes
actually
because I'm
that's
not your
my
guy.
thing. It seems like if you want full on, because Watch Dogs Legion has ray tracing on Series X, right? But the game can only run at
Yeah.
30 frames. I I think that's the
Yeah.
this upcoming generation's like 4K. Like if you want to play with full ray tracing, it has to be like 30
Yeah.
frames.
Hmm. At least for now, because this is the start of the generation, and later on, we're likely to see
Yeah,
some definite increases
there'll
in
be an upgrade. There'll be
quality
an
of
upgrade too for
performance.
consoles.
Well, yeah, there's going to be a console upgrade definitely, and I think there's also going to be probably the tagline is going to be 4K and ray tracing
Yeah.
at 60 or
No, so they
some
both have
bullshit
ray
like that.
tracing. I
Yeah.
know that, but I'm not like this again. Like Miles Morales uses some ray tracing, but I don't think it's full on ray tracing. And I think like even
Yeah.
Halo Infinite was gonna have ray tracing, but not like full on ray tracing. Because I don't think a game
Hmm.
could run at 60 frames on either of them has full ray tracing. Of what I've heard anyway.
It's a whole lot of complicated
Yeah, I can't
technical
explain it.
jargon
Yeah, I
that
don't know.
I can't
So,
even begin to understand
yeah.
myself.
So, yeah, hardware wise, I think Series X is I mean, it's better black and white, but yeah, I'm sure first-party games on PlayStation will utilize all their little tools,
Yeah,
and it'll be great too. So,
I'll say this as a final statement on it. Like you said, it is. If you're looking at it like as like a black and white kind of argument, Series X is
hmm
clearly
it's more
over
powerful. It
uh
is.
PS5 in terms of specs, but it's not only is it black and white, I believe it's also apples to oranges because they're both trying to accomplish different things with their technology, and I think it's going to mean different things in different games, and I think you're going to get a unique experience from both systems
Yeah, I don't think either will
overall.
be bad for third-party games.
It's I guess that's the most bland and neutral way I can wrap it up, even though I'm not trying to. But that's how I feel. I feel very like I like what both
Yeah,
of them are doing, and
hmm
that's about all I can
for sure.
say. um, moving on though, let's talk about, and this is something that I discussed last week on my own. But what is up with the first year roadmap for um both of these platforms? And you heard me rant about this on my
Blurry.
stream the other day, where I just feel like, I feel like Microsoft's roadmap is very much like, what the fuck, like
Yeah.
what's gonna, like, in a couple months, what am I gonna be playing? What am I gonna be playing in a couple months? Like, what's going on? Like, what's happening? Like, they did their whole showcase. They didn't show any
They
dates
didn't
for
show
anything.
gameplay.
Like, most of the stuff seems like, yeah, no gameplay, like hardly any dates. Like, and no concrete dates, barely any launch
hmm
windows. I'd say it's like, what, like, come March, after the initial oohs and ahs of having a new console fade off. What am I gonna be doing with this
hmm
thing? You know, like, what am I gonna be doing with it? Sony, on the other hand, we know Ratchet and Clank is coming next year. They've added that Destruction All Stars game. That's an exclusive. They added that to PS Plus for February. So at least I'll have something to try that's new, right? Even if I don't fucking like it, I'll have something to look at
Well,
that's new,
besides
right?
that,
We know third party
that's what I
stuff is
mean.
coming.
I again
Um,
for both a roadmap for first party. We don't know. I Ratchet and Clank for
well, we
PS5.
do with PS5. We do because Horizon Zero Dawn is slated for
Slated.
next year. That game Returnal is slated for next year. God of War slated for, yeah, but it's like, even if we don't know for sure
That's gonna
if
God of
they're
War's
gonna
not coming out
make
this
it,
year. Put that's not
God of
that's
War,
not
no,
coming
no,
out in
fuck that.
2021.
That's
That's
not.
a
Might as well not even be part of it.
yeah. That's
I
not
don't
that's
believe
gonna
that at
delay.
all.
That's gonna
That's a
delay 'em.
fucking pipe dream. Yeah. I said that last week on the podcast too. I was like,
Yeah.
that's just not happening. But at least we know, we have an idea of the software that they want to have out
hmm
next year. You know what I mean? Even if it doesn't happen, we at least know, like, okay, well, this is in the
Yeah.
plan for next year. So that, like, taking it on their word, we can say, okay, well, at least, I have this to
hmm
look forward to. Like, I mean, like with fucking Halo Infinite, we had that to look forward to until they
Well,
fucking bursted our
that's
bubble.
that's now
But
20. That's a part
for
of the
that
roadmap next year now. So
for that for that short little time, we were fucking floating on cloud nine with the fucking Halo Infinite until they fucking
no, they
shat on our
got
parade. So
well, I mean, badly now because it got delayed. But Halo Infinite is now part of 2021, so that's coming out. Should be coming out.
yeah,
We don't know. I think it's not gonna come out till a year from now. But there's a lot of people think it's gonna come out. Yeah, the
what
people think it's
else?
gonna come. The Gunk.
Yeah,
Hello. Uh,
the gunk. Oh, my bad,
that's
my
coming out
bad. I'm sorry.
2021. I
I'm
think that's
sorry.
a
I forgot
time
about the
exclusive
gunk.
for Xbox. I'm not sure. Uh, so no, some people think Halo Infinite might come out in May or June. I have no idea. No one knows, but
Not gonna lie to you. I think that we might see Final Fantasy 16 next
oh
year
yeah,
because that game seems very far along in development and it looks very
yeah.
good. And that's going to be a PlayStation timed exclusive. But
Oh,
again,
that's the
that,
game for
like,
Xbox.
that was also a part of their
Final Fantasy VII
strategy.
Remake, I think,
What's that?
should be coming out in 2021 for Xbox.
That's nice,
Very
but
nice.
and
I know
I
it's not
again,
new. It's not
I hate
new,
to be that
but we
guy.
don't know. For all we
I
know,
hate to
maybe
be
we'll
that guy.
maybe you'll have a free upgrade for Xbox Series X.
I hate to be that guy. That would be lovely. That would be amazing.
Um,
But I hate to be
The
that guy.
Ascent comes out
But
next
I'm
year,
already
I
playing
think,
that on
for
my PS4.
2021.
Like, I'm
That was the game to show the showcase that people
yeah.
liked. I'm not very familiar with it, but The Ascent, Halo Infinite, The Gunk. I mean, that game actually does look fun as much as the shit I give it. It does look like a
It
fun
does
game.
look fun.
That's coming out.
But when you have to compare, because this is what you have to do. When there's two consoles, you have to compare. And I'm not trying to spark fucking console war discussion, but the reason why we're comparing is because generally, the general public is going to be buying
Mhm.
one of these things. You know what I mean? And the average consumer is going to be buying one of these things. Me, I'm only buying one of them
Yeah.
right now because I don't want to go
Yeah,
broke.
for sure.
You know, you know what I mean? Like David, you're only buying one of them right now. You don't even know if you're going to get a
I probably
PS5, do
won't.
you?
I didn't get a
Probably
PS4.
won't. Exactly. Right. That's why it's important to compare them because but uh talking games, you can't put the gunk up next to Ratchet and Clank. You just can't do that. It's
No,
just
for
not the
sure.
same.
I mean, I'm
Like,
sure Ratchet and Clank will be, but again, I think. I mean, it's a different world, obviously, that could have affected with the virus and all that. But there's not really.
yeah,
I mean, again, like heavy hitters that come out for both. I would say one. Ratchet and Clank is great. People love that. I would say it's a heavy hitter though for everyone to play.
I'd say it is a good
It will
solid
be.
hit
No, for sure, it will be.
because
It will be. But it's not
it's
like it's not God of
it
War.
always sells
It's not
well.
God of War
It's a
with
crowd
Horizon
pleaser,
Zero
right?
or whatever it's
It's not
Horizon
God of War.
Beyond West.
It's not
Whatever it's
Horizon
called.
Zero Dawn.
Uh,
Yeah, Horizon Forbidden West. I don't even know what
but
the fuck that means.
unless like
Why is the
I
West
can't think
forbidden?
of the top of my head, I can't think of anything.
Who
But
forbade it?
again, next year
Yeah.
for Xbox gets Halo Infinite, PlayStation gets the new Horizon, and I don't know. I think that's it for both. That's third party.
Unless they pull God of
They
War out
won't.
of their ass. And I also believe that Sony is going to have some surprises next year. But then again, we also have to consider maybe Microsoft has some surprises next year because you do have to remember they didn't show off all of their studios
For sure.
in July. They said they still had more to come, more they were going to reveal later on in the year, in fact, which that never happened, though. That didn't happen. But they still have more to come. We might see what the initiative's been cooking up for all this time, even though I don't think they're close to being ready. Like whatever they're working on is in a playable state, but that they like as you can see with all the headlines, the initiative is still adding people.
Yeah,
So I
definitely.
don't know if they're fully prepared for
No, but first
launching a
party,
new
I don't
game,
think
but
either. Each of them to me has one big hit, or not hit, but a hit. The game they want to be a hit next year: Xbox, Halo Infinite, and PlayStation, the new Horizon Forbidden West. That's it. All the rest is third party.
yeah,
Though, and they'll have small. I'm sure that, like, I
yeah,
don't know Xbox, but I'm sure there'll be some like Ratchet and Clank. I'm sure Xbox will have some game we don't even know yet coming out to like
yeah.
a mid-level title.
Ratchet and Clank. Technically, that Destruction All Stars is coming out next year as well. Ratchet and Clank's coming. Destruction All Stars is coming. Returnal is a game that's coming. Um,
Oh no,
and
no, no.
that's
PS5.
about it. Yeah.
What's the Gearbox game?
Oh yes, that's
Godfall?
right. Deathloop,
No, it's
which is
Bethesda.
actually Godfall.
Oh,
Godfall
that
comes
was
out
Ragnarok.
launch. No, Godfall's no. I'm sorry. Yeah. I got them mixed up. Yeah, you're right. Godfall is
Yeah.
Gearbox. That comes out at launch, and next year Bethesda's putting out Deathloop on
Yeah.
PS5. Um, so yeah. So yeah. So yeah, they still got that. Like again, that lineup, like no matter how many heavy hitters they got, they've still got a lot of games that you're only going to be able to play on
Hmm.
PlayStation next year versus Microsoft. And Deathloop, that's a Bethesda game. That's a big name studio, Ratchet and Clank, like it might not be
It'll
the
be a big
heavy
game.
hitter
I'm just saying it's
console
not just
selling
like
title,
it's not gonna
but
be
it's
like
going to be
Horizon when
big.
that comes out.
Yeah. No, it's not gonna be like Horizon, when that comes out, but still, it's a big game, and then you have Horizon that's planned for next year. I think Horizon at least will
Yeah, I
come
think
out
that
next
will.
year.
It's come out for PS4 as
Uh,
well, so
and yeah, and like that's just really it. And then of course they still got tricks up their sleeve because we know that they always do. So and same for Microsoft. I know they always have tricks up their sleeve, but just as it stands right now, Microsoft's first year, their launch year is looking pretty
no,
weak.
for sure.
It's looking
It's
pretty
the Halo
damn weak.
Infinite. That's all they needed too. I would be
Yeah.
so fine for Halo Infinite for like the year. That'd be cool. I mean, I'd want other games
Yeah,
too, but I
if
mean
dude,
that's all I'd be playing anyway for me.
the Halo Infinite's delay is the entire reason why I'm buying a PlayStation 5 because like I felt so sick to my
That was a
stomach. I
gut.
was like I need
Yeah,
something.
that's a gut punch.
I I need a
No,
game.
I'll tell you.
Like
I
give
mean,
me something.
I still think like, what am I gonna play day one? Like I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know.
I was
I don't know.
I'm going over a game.
Um,
I'm thinking I'm like, do I want to play GTA 4? Because I do want a new experience. I might try like Gears 5 with a new update. I'll definitely try the old
yeah.
Halo MCC the week after when they get that update. But
Oh yeah, yeah. That's gonna be awesome.
I would of course rather
Um,
a brand new gotta play game. In fact, I agree. I would even say there's a review I saw today. Agreed. He said as great as the Xbox Series X is, he'd only recommend it if you play on Xbox every day because it's a giant upgrade. He's like it's a big upgrade. If you play on Xbox every day, I would buy this day one. But if you don't, you could wait for Halo, for example.
don't say
He
don't
did.
say that to me.
I'll send you
Don't
the
say that
Jeff
to me.
Grubb was his.
No, don't send it. I don't
He
want to see
said
it. I don't
he.
want to. Stop trying to make me buy the
No, he
Xbox
agreed. He's
Series
like,
X.
there's no killer game to play day one. There's not. He's like, but if you were an Xbox player, if you play an Xbox every day, and this is your like main console, he's like, I would absolutely buy this day one. He's like, this upgrade is that big. He's like, it feels. Even actually, I watched another one in their PlayStation guys, and they were talking about Series X, and he's like, dude, he's like, he agreed. He's like, there's no killer game, but he's like, I've had this for a week. He's like, it's fucking amazing. He's like, I may play on PlayStation, but the Xbox Series X is amazing. He's like playing older games feels so much better and different. He's like, I would absolutely buy this day one. So
I don't
I am
even want to
happy
hear
about
this
it.
right now
But I will, like I
because
said, I
like
do agree.
I
Like
don't want
it's
to
kind
hear
of, it
it
is a
right
bummer. I'm
now.
like, yeah, I want to play. We talked about
Yeah.
fucking over a year now. It's over a year now. Like last October we're
Yeah.
talking about man Halo
We
Infinite, man
fucking
Halo Infinite.
we did, ladies and gentlemen at home, uh over on my Twitch channel and even off the Twitch channel. Me and David did a fucking marathon of every fucking Halo game leading up to goddamn
On a
fucking
legendary,
Infinite.
on a
Over that
legendary,
shit to get the late. We played them all on
and we
fucking
achievement
legendary. We
wise,
were
are
so
gonna
fucking. We
switch
were pumped.
achievements.
We were doing it. We were slaying achievements. You know, I have almost every achievement in
I don't.
MCC.
I'm over
Check,
4,000 though. I almost at 5,000
check,
gamer score
check my
MCC.
fucking check my Xbox account. I have almost all of them.
Man,
I'm
I'm
pretty
not
sure.
kidding.
I'm
We were
pretty sure.
talking about November last year. We're like, man, guess what? 1 year till Halo Infinite. 1 year. We'll be playing
You're like
this.
1 year.
We did.
1
I
year to
swear to
Halo
God, we
Infinite.
said that.
Yeah,
We're playing this a year
I
from now.
remember. I remember saying like. Yeah, this time next year we playing Halo Infinite. It's gonna be fucking awesome. And then we just got
It
fucked.
really hurts.
We
It
got
hurts
fucked
so
in the
much.
face.
There's so much jizz everywhere.
Yeah, it hurt my
That jizz
feelings.
everywhere.
It hurt my feelings. It
Yeah.
hurt my feelings. I was
Yeah.
very
So,
excited. I was very excited, and I
but
was
it
betrayed.
is a new console
So,
generation. I'm very happy about that. I mean, I only have so many left in my life. I mean, these don't happen a lot. Like,
well, damn, don't
that's
say
true
that.
though.
Like,
Like, we only have so many console generations in our life. It's not like I have.
it's not like you're
Well, no,
fucking
like,
dying, dude.
like
Like,
in 3 more generations, I'll be like almost dead. I mean, I will be. I'll be
3 more generations are gonna be fucking playing
like
with the fucking
three generations ago.
Xbox.
I'm playing. I'm a kid still, and I'm still like I'm an adult that can play games. 3 more
Yeah.
generations from now, I'll be close to the grave, and we only get so many left. So
I
it's a
know.
positive way
You
to.
gotta
Yeah,
enjoy
so I'm
them
gonna
while you
enjoy
got
it.
them.
I'm very happy about it. I'm still excited.
I'm glad that I got to experience all of the gaming that I did, because I feel like future generations are probably there's probably gonna be games that we played as kids they're never gonna fucking ever hear of, like fucking Kickle Cubicle. You
No,
fucking
it's
heard
already
of that?
over. See, that's done in
Kickle
my
fucking
life. I don't know
Cubicle.
what that is.
It's fucking puzzle game on the NES that I used to play. You play as this little Eskimo dude, and you like kick around ice.
Like a Lolo game,
And
like over the top like puzzle game.
yeah, it's like a top-down sort of puzzle game. It's very fun. And it's a game that we just had, when I was growing up. Nobody's going to know
Of
what that
course.
is. And nobody knows really what it is now because it's already obscure. Yeah, I have 550 achievements in
Goddamn.
MCC. I have 73%
Yeah,
of this game
I
completed
think I
in
have
terms of
490
achievements.
something in MCC. Forget.
Like, the point is, we played the shit out of that game, and we were shafted
I really
by
feel
Bonnie
I
Ross
do.
specifically.
I want to go. I can't talk about it.
I'll
be
feel
on
like
here for another fucking 2 hours, just like ranting about it.
Yeah.
It hurt my feelings.
Yeah. It's unacceptable. It is unacceptable.
But yeah.
It is not acceptable. But yeah, Yeah, like we're experiencing the. I think we've experienced. Me and you collectively, have experienced the greatest years that gaming has to offer. I can't see it getting really like to a place that's much better than this. Oof, my voice cracked. That's much better than this, especially with some of the trends we're seeing with. This is a topic for another day. I'm too tired to get fucking philosophical. It's 4 a.m. I haven't slept yet. Uh, I'm gonna sleep like a
Hey now.
log tomorrow. So, but you know what? We're running out of time. Let's go ahead and move on into our final thoughts. And of course, we've kind of you can kind of get an idea of where we're both at. David, you're team Xbox all the way. They're delivering an experience that you want. But before we end things off here, what is it really? If you had to list some key things about the experience that are the reason why you're playing on Xbox as opposed to playing on PlayStation,
Why'd I choose it?
um, yeah, like what are the key things about Xbox, the ecosystem, the games,
Oh, it's very easy.
the experience?
Halo. I like playing
Yeah,
Halo, and it's only on Xbox. No, really, that's it. Well, that's one of them.
yeah.
I had a PlayStation 3. I didn't enjoy it. My brother had Xbox 360. It was like an Xbox commercial in our house, and I wanted one. And so next generation came. I just said I'm getting an Xbox. That's it.
Do you want to tell everybody the
Yeah, I
story of your fucking
that
of your
when
fucking
that
360
generation was
launch?
coming out, I had a PS2 because I that's what I had. I had a PS2, and I wanted to play Final Fantasy. And at the time, Final Fantasy was only on PS1 then PS2. So I was going to buy a PS3 just for the Final Fantasy games. And then they shit on me and they announced that Final Fantasy 13 would be on 360 anyway, so it didn't fucking matter. But before I knew that, I bought it. And that thing was fucking $600, and I paid $600 for that at Best Buy. That was the first time. That's the first
Jesus
time
Christ.
I used my own money too. Um, and then I was playing a game called Time Shift Christmas morning, and the multiplayer is like a Halo ripoff. And remember the time, if anyone can, where the PlayStation Network was no one was mic'd up. There wasn't anything. It was just silence. I'm playing Time Shift online. That's my first multiplayer experience. My brother, who I bought him that for Christmas, I bought him an Xbox 360 for Christmas, and he's playing Halo 3 down the hall, having the time of his life, like talking to his buddies, like communicating. Like it sounds insane. You could, yeah. And I'm playing Time Shift in silence in my room by myself. Like, why'd I do this?
That story gets me every time because he's fucking playing touch with his silence. Your brother's down the hall like, fuck yeah,
Yeah,
get the warthog, get the
yeah.
warthog. Holy shit,
All you can
holy
hear in
shit.
my room is
He's
buttons
just
getting
fucking.
pressed because there's nothing. There's no music. There's some gunshots, and my buttons
Oh
are getting
my
pressed, and I'm
god.
playing Time Shift multiplayer. Which
Oh
I
my
haven't like
god.
even seen it since then. Cause I've never played the game again. I was so disappointed. That game will never ever die in my head. But yeah, the multiplayer was just like a Halo ripoff. It was
Fucking
red and
time
blue,
shift. That's fucking
and
classic.
it was literally like they just made like let's
Classic.
make a Halo game, and a multiplayer was. That's what they did. And it wasn't good.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then when the next generation came, and I mean, I'm talking like it was the election. Like I was like deciding who to vote for, who wasn't going to buy an Xbox One or PS4, and that's what popped in my head. It was like the last time that happened to me. Like, hey, you know what? No, I'm just gonna buy an Xbox this time.
It's like,
That's
hey,
what
remember
ended.
what
No, it
happened
really
last
did. And I'm
time?
like, what am I talking
Yeah.
about? Like, no, I'm buying an Xbox this time. That's what I'm not doing this again. So yeah, that's it.
Yeah. But then the PS4 ended up being amazing.
Well, now I'm stuck. I'm stuck in the. I'm a big achievement guy, so I'm not. I'm stuck in the
It is what it
ecosystem
is
now.
now. Yeah. But more so specifically with the Series X, how do you feel about that? As a, like, when you compare the two,
I feel
the
great
PS5
about it.
and
It's the
Series
most
X.
powerful hardware. I think Xbox learned the hard way that they need to upgrade it, and including
Yes.
games
Yes.
because they don't happen in a day. It's gonna take years, but I am confident that
Yes.
and it sucks. It's gonna be a year or two, probably two. But when the games start coming out, all on Game Pass day one, I don't know how you can beat that.
Yeah. I don't know either.
Including actually now,
But
I'll say that day one. I will say, I forgot EA Play is available. That's 60 extra
Now,
games for no extra cost.
it's
That is a lot of
fascinating
games
that you
to play on
mentioned
day
that.
one, even if they're not new. I get that, but
It is.
how can you say I have nothing to play if you have Xbox and Game Pass? You always have something to play.
Oh, you always have something to play on Xbox. It might not be the newest, most cutting edge stuff, but
So
you're
again,
always
no,
gonna have a game.
that's why
You're always gonna have a game.
also why I'm buying it because I am a Game Pass subscriber. So $1 for 3 years, baby.
Yeah. So, just a little tidbit about Game Pass, because that's something that we didn't really talk about here. Because like I feel like I've personally talked about Game Pass so much, but I'm glad you brought it up. I feel like Game Pass's price is going to
Phil
increase,
Spencer said no.
or there.
He's been
He
asked
said
that many
no,
times.
but didn't he say they were going to add different tiers to it or something like that? There's going to be like different buying options for it.
I'm not
I,
sure,
I, I
but
heard
someone
that
has
somewhere.
directly asked him, "Our
I heard that
price? Are you
somewhere.
gonna like Netflix? Because they just went up. Are you gonna put up the price of Game Pass?" And he said no.
He said no,
I'm not
but
sure. Yeah, I don't know. From 5 years from now, it's gonna happen.
yeah,
But for the for the
he
immediate
said no,
future,
but you never
I would
know.
imagine no, because he said no.
Yeah.
And he's
And Phil Spencer has been known to say things in the past, and then
well, I'll tell you that.
later on, things
Well,
things
that'd be a
change differently.
giant.
Not even because of his own circumstances, but just because circumstances
That's what I
beyond his
mean. I think
control.
this is his
You know,
control. I don't think it's like 343 situation where this game's coming out this day and
yeah,
343's like, nah, sorry, Phil, we fucked up.
or
We
fucking
fucked up.
crackdown,
Crackdown's a nightmare. But
fucking scale
yeah, I
bound.
think this is his call.
Yeah. Um. Here's what I think about the whole. Like, I think that the reason why I'm thinking about Game Pass is like they can't possibly give you that many games like for that price. It's not possible. It's
Well,
just not.
he said
It's
it's
just not
sustainable. That
possible.
was someone asked him, and he talked about it. There's an interview somewhere. It wasn't that long ago. He asked him what the Game Pass
Yeah.
price is going to increase. He said, "No, we are happy and sustainable of where it's at right now." From 5 years
Yeah.
from now, it could absolutely
I
change. I don't know, but
I heard something from Aaron Greenberg, your favorite
of
Xbox
course,
representative, and I think that he wasn't supposed to say this,
shocker. I'm
but he said
shocked.
something like along the lines of. He said something along the lines of like well Game Pass isn't turning that much of a profit right now, but
Game
or
Pass
something
isn't
like
making a
he said
profit
something.
right now, but soon it will. That's how he talks.
Yeah, he said something along
Well,
those lines. It was maybe like a couple months ago that I read this, but yeah. So I don't know, but at the same time, Microsoft can afford to take the loss. They're $1 trillion company; they'll be fine.
I'm just sure that
Um,
that is something that's Phil Spencer's
you know,
call. And if he just did a fucking
yeah,
interview weeks before our console launch, he said when someone directly asked him, he said no. I would imagine it's not changing anytime soon. In the future, who knows?
yeah,
But the
definitely not.
next year or so,
He's
yeah,
just
that
like
would
an
be
asshole, look like a
that'd
fucking
be a
Jim Ryan,
terrible thing to do.
fucking
So
asshole.
yeah, a year or two when
Yeah,
they're like when their first party games start popping, like, hey, by the way, guys, we're increasing the price for like $1 or two. Possible, but
yeah.
for the immediate future, no.
Um, excuse me. It is like
Okay,
4:30 a.m. and I'm gonna try and wrap this
let's
up
go.
quickly.
I'm ready to wrap it.
But let me see. My thoughts really on this generation coming up. I think that again, Microsoft is doing a stellar job. I think that I agree with you 100% with Microsoft. I think that Microsoft learned tremendously from their mistakes in terms of the hardware, and they just know what the consumer wants now. They know what the consumer wants. And even if they're not able to give it to us right now at the present moment, they still know what we want. They're still working on it because, like we saw at the showcase, they announced all those games that were coming to Series X. And they might be, 2022 to 2023 games. Maybe we'll get one in 2021 if we're lucky. But, they said, look, where did we mess up before? First party software and hardware. The hardware is stellar. The first party software is still on the way, and I hate that because it's been wait and see all generation for first party software. I would have loved to have some first party software at launch just to say like finally we're getting some first party
Yeah,
Xbox stuff. And they bought all these fucking studios, like where the fuck's it at? But really I think they're doing great. And I said this last week in my podcast, even though I was being really hard on Microsoft in that episode of Orbit. The Xbox Series X is going to be my primary
That's right,
console
baby.
still. Like, it's like I'm just waiting on the chief.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just waiting
Yeah,
on the
me too.
chief so he
Me
can
too.
finish the fight.
Me
Like,
too.
I'm just waiting on the chief so he can finish the fucking fight.
Me
Like
too.
that's all. Like me buying the PS5 first is only because the Xbox's launch is so
Yeah.
abysmal, for lack of a better term. That's the only reason. I still think the Xbox Series X is better. That being said, though, I am very excited to see what Sony's bringing to the table with their system, because their first party software is why I buy their consoles. That's why I have a PS4, because they had Uncharted and they had Horizon Zero Dawn. They had Killzone Shadowfall. They had an Infamous game, even though it was a piece of shit. You know, like they had that stuff, and I wanted to play it, so I was like, I have to buy this system. Same thing with PS5. They got Demon's Souls. They've got a new Ratchet and Clank game that looks pretty fucking fun. They've got a new Horizon Zero Dawn, and I got to find out what happens next in God of War, because I'm a big God of War fan. So I have to fucking buy it. I have no choice. I have no choice.
Sure.
But the Series X, I can't lay it out any simpler. For me, and for the way I play games, it's better. And I've said this before, and I've said this to you, but statistically, people play more third-party games than they do first-party games anyway. Third-party games generally sell way more than first-party software does.
Of course, it sells more.
It's
on more platforms.
They just generally do. They get more play. I'm sorry, not even just sell more, but I mean, like, they get more play. You know, most, because like you may get like one or two big name Sony exclusives a year.
No, the biggest games.
Or same thing with Nintendo.
Live are GTA 5 still. One of the Call of Duties, Fortnite, and
guess
Minecraft.
What? Those are the biggest games on PlayStation as well. GTA 5, like the third party casual games, and that's why I think the Series S was a great idea. We didn't even talk about the Series S, but that's because we're not fucking buying one, because we care about our care about our fucking our experience.
Cool not everyone can afford $500 fucking because that thing's not going on sale for.
Not everybody can afford it, and not everybody cares about 4K 120 and shit like that. Like some people, they just want to play Call of Duty with their fucking buddies.
People, either they don't care about that stuff, or some people can't afford it.
Like I said, for people who don't give a shit, it's a great console.
For kids,
people don't give a fuck about all that shit. Yeah, and for kids, kids and people who just don't care about all the extra bells and whistles, you just want to be able to play games with their buddies. If their buddies, have console or PC, whatever. I think that's great. But overall, my big takeaway here, for just this generation as a whole, for the upcoming consoles, I think the launch of the Series X is not good at all. There's no way to sugarcoat it. But I think that in the long run, the Series X is going to be a console that is really worth having. And I think it's going to be very compelling. And for me personally, I think that it is the best console available right now. Well, yeah, the best console available right now. But I'm not going to get it yet, because there's not any games I want to play. It is the best, but it's just in terms of software, like I gotta look out for my best interest. I don't want to be fucking sitting at Christmas time with my Series X playing.
I bought a Wii U because I wanted to play Mario. I waited a whole year. I bought an Xbox One with the MCC.
Same. The first current generation console I got was a Wii U.
Yeah, me too.
I got my Wii U, then I got my Xbox One, then I got my PS4.
Bought a Wii
U,
I
got my Switch.
Mario,
in that
and
order.
Then a year later I bought an Xbox One for MCC. So it is about the games.
Yeah, like but I think that's all. I think that's all we got to say about these consoles. We're very excited for next generation. I'm very excited to get my PlayStation next week. I hope I get it next week. I've been looking at my shipping, and it said my games were set to arrive on Wednesday the 18th. And if that's the case, I'm just gonna cancel that order and go get them in store. But I'm gonna call customer support and complain like a bitch, so I can get my fucking PlayStation. Like
they're open now.
You
should be like, yo.
I can't really. I'm gonna see if I can get it sent to the store instead. If I can have it sent to the store.
I'll tell you,
I
was worried about mine. I was actually yesterday. I was I kept seeing people saying like they got their credit card charged, and I got mine Saturday. I got an alert saying Microsoft trying to charge my credit card, so I allowed it. But I was concerned because I didn't get any email updates. And then I found as I was looking for
Yeah.
like, is there a statement of when they're going to get shipped out? I my email popped up like at right when I was looking, and it said that my item has shipped. So
Yeah. Um, I gotta call Target and be like, listen, you gotta do something because I'm about to fuck you guys
yeah,
up.
I'd be pissed. I'd be very pissed.
Something's gotta happen. But yeah, we're very excited for next gen, and I hope that all you folks out there are excited for next gen as well. I hope you were able to get a console. If not, don't worry, they're on the way. You know, the world's pretty fucking fucked up right now. I think we got bigger things to worry about than PlayStations and Xboxes. But with that being said,
Yeah,
I got mine. So
it's a good time to distract you.
that being said, you know, it is it is a good distraction, but I just hope people aren't stressing too much about them. And by the way, folks, don't give in to don't give it to scalpers. Don't please
No.
don't give in to scalpers. Like don't just please don't because it's not worth it. Just wait. You're gonna save money. Like 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 you're
Dude,
gonna
they
be able
might
to play
be out
Spider-Man
in like
Miles Morales on
December. They might be
PS4.
available to buy.
Fucking wait. Yeah, they might be available like a
Like
month later.
after
They'll have
Christmas, they'll
they
be available.
the point is Sony and Microsoft want you to buy this system. They're gonna make sure
Yeah,
you
for
can
sure.
get it.
After Christmas, they'll be available.
Case in point. Yeah, exactly. After Christmas, they'll be available. Just wait. Just don't give in to scalpers. Don't stress about it. But let us know what you guys think in the comment section of this video. And David, are we going to have you back to talk about your first week with your Series X?
Yeah, I got time.
So I guess that we'll be seeing you then. And as usual, folks, everybody have a good weekend. Stay safe. And hey, don't take life too seriously. And have a good weekend. Hey there, folks. Don't have a good weekend just yet. There's one more thing I forgot to mention. Can't believe I forgot to mention this. I just wanted to shout out the legend David, our special guest today. He's been a good friend of mine over Xbox for a couple of years now, and he streams pretty frequently whenever he can. He just does a variety of games. He does playthroughs of them. He's very entertaining guy to watch. I always stick on his stream, late at night. When I'm just relaxing in bed, I'll stick his stream on and watch it. Very entertaining. He plays a wide variety of games, loves achievements, mostly plays on Xbox, but you can pretty much talk to him about any kind of games. He's like me. He's a big time games fan. So please check out his stream when you get the chance. I just didn't want to end off the video without mentioning that. So big shout out and thank you to David for joining us today. And you'll be seeing more of David in the future. Like we said, he is going to be coming back to let us know his first impressions of the Xbox Series X. I'm very excited for that episode because, I'm getting the PS5 and I'm not going to be getting my Series X for another couple of months probably. But yeah, definitely check out David's stream over on Twitch, TheLegenDavid. I'm going to put the link to it in the description below. But aside from that, folks, everybody have a good weekend and take care of yourself.